Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM, brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. Good morning to all you good folks in Jackson, Tennessee on News Talk 101.5, Brownsville on 95.3 FM and 1520 AM, and of course right here in Memphis, Tennessee on ESPN AM 790, 92.9 HD FM. On this first Saturday, which means that Dave Gabbert and Gene Smith.
It's the Daryl Old Time Radio Show.
It is, and there's the baritone voice of
boy.
There it is, of Gene Smith, and Dave Gabbert is on top of his camper trying to get a signal in Enid Lake.
Got one leg up.
Yeah, he's got his phone up in the air. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning.
I think you guys are going to enjoy this next segment on Outdoors with Larry Ray, as we talk about a gentleman that I've known since I became outdoor at the Commercial Appeal forever, 30 years ago, and have worked through the company. And I don't know if anybody has given away more fishing lures to kids than the late T.J. Stallings. I mean, it's just when I would need something, it would come. And so when T.J. passed away at a very young age, I wrote a column about it because I'd got a box like 2 weeks before it all happened. And then so all of a sudden I get this notice of a book about T.J. And who better to write a book about their husband,
his lifelong partner,
than his wife. And that's
right.
Kathy Stallings, and it's called My Southern Gentleman. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning.
I know it's kind of hard still to talk about this project, but after going through it and reading it and the tributes that you included into it, talk about how you did it. I mean, you really wanted to do it as quickly as possible. I can understand that. But talk about the process when you put this book together. And the name is great, My Southern Gentleman.
Thank you. It started out with journaling. I had, not too long after I lost him, I started going to a counselor.
Yes.
And he told me to start writing down my thoughts. And he said not only about just what's going on with, losing your husband, but anything you think of, just write it down.
Yes.
And I thought that was going to be really hard to do. But I sat down one day and started journaling, and I just couldn't stop writing. And I would just be going through the house thinking of something we had done, something would trigger a memory.
Right.
And I'd run and write it down. And so he had wanted me to, we kept a memory book together. And he was always asking me, did you put anything in the memory book today? And so I promised him that, I would do that every day.
Yes.
And so I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to do one better. I'm going to not only do the memory book and finish it, I'm going to write a book. And so I took a lot of the things from my journal, and that's, a lot of our memories that I had written down in the journal, and put that in the book. That's how it started.
Well, it just can't. I know I don't know why I hadn't written a book. People have asked me to write a book, and I've been inspired by you that maybe I need to do this because you have laid it out and expressed not only who this wonderful man was, but the love and affection that you guys had for each other, and it's almost like we're on the journey with you. I mean, when I picked it up and when I read "You Got Your Claws in Me," I mean that just that started me.
Sounded like him.
Yeah, it did. It really did.
Mm-hmm.
And she was kind of surprised that I'd read it so quickly, but I couldn't put it down. That once I got it and the different chapters that you've got in here, did it flow like you wanted it to? It
did. I guess you could probably say the real author was God, because he was with me all the way on it.
Yes, yeah.
I had stopped. It didn't take me long to write the book, but I stopped. I just couldn't get an ending, and I stopped writing on it. And after a year, after going through just a hard time last year with COVID and everything,
yes,
I thought, well, maybe God doesn't want me to do this. But I got better. I felt like God just healed me of everything had been going through. And I sat down I thought, well, I'm gonna start again and see if I can do this
yes.
book.
Yeah.
And I got the ending. The very moment I sat down and started,
Did you
I got
really?
the ending chapter.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I finished the book.
Yes.
So,
And you've woven it together. Oh, about how you met, your first date, the places you've been. I was at Fontana. I remember those. The trip to Fontana, and then you bring in their titles. I really like chapter 17, Take the High Road, and you said I've never met anyone who wanted to worship and serve God more than TJ, and
that's so true.
And that's a walk of y'all together, and so is there a part of this thing that was easier to do, hard to do? I know you got your ICAST family. I was impressed with that because everybody knows that's a big family. What was there a portion of it that was harder than maybe something else?
I think the writing down the memories of our adventures together it just came real easy.
Yes, yeah.
I have to tell you, I'm more surprised at myself than anyone. I didn't know I could write a book, and do this.
Yes.
But that was easy for me. I wrote it in no time. I had the book finished in no time.
Well, you wrote it from your heart. That's the main thing.
Yeah, sure.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And that's true. It totally came from my heart. And a lot of tears are on those pages, even the good memories.
Mm-hmm.
But, and so you ask what might have been the hard part it would have been the ending.
The ending, yeah.
I had to, you have to include all of what happens in your life. You can't leave any parts out. And so it was difficult doing that.
Well, I tell you what, the way you've done it, I had no idea you've even woven my man Ron Wong into this. He came to your rescue one time, and he's
a good one, Ron.
He's a good friend, an expert photographer. Was there when you needed it because you were doing some uncharted things yourself. I mean,
absolutely,
because TJ was such a master of knowing people and being a people person.
Yeah, he could talk to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
he never met a stranger.
No, and that's part of reading the book through here. When I go through these, the pennies from heaven really touch me. And
thank you.
And I think a lot of times. Gene's sitting there next to me. He lost his wife.
Yeah, 2.5 years ago.
2.5 years
I'm
ago.
Sorry.
Yeah.
58 years. We married 58 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this was such a short time for you and TJ together, but it'll never end. I mean,
it feels that way. Yes.
Doesn't it? I mean,
it does.
And this, if you'd have waited longer, Kathy, I'm not sure it would have been harder to write. I've always thought that.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you need to do it right. When you did it, your timing was perfect.
Yeah, you don't want the memories to fade.
Yeah. Well, they're never going to really fade, but to put them into print like she
Right.
has. And I know I'm included in there, but I'm not puffing me up or anything. I think that was really a part of the end of the story is to run some of these tributes to TJ.
That's all I could do. I couldn't have written a biography because I didn't know him long enough.
No.
But I wanted people to know what kind of a man he was. I wanted them to see just how much he contributed, and it was so much. And if there's anything, I want to say this: if there's anything that readers take from this, is I want them to not remember how he died, but
Yes.
I want them to remember how he lived.
That's right. That's right. And this, I mean,
because he really was an awesome man.
Yes, yes, and I know even this is hard for you. And again, we're talking to Kathy Stallings. You look it up on Amazon. Kathleen Stallings, native of Clay, Alabama. She was in the medical language specialist. I did not know that.
Yeah,
that's a pretty cool.
Over 20 years.
Yeah,
actually.
that's a pretty cool field to be in, and to know how you guys met through a dating service. and
Yes.
a click away from not ever meeting. I mean, tap on your window. I mean, there's
That's true. Yeah.
it just
Yes.
it seems like these 2 years were like 40 years. When it
People have told me that. Yeah.
it does, yeah. I mean, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what you wanted to do. I think the cover's a great picture of him. I always, when I went to any of the CIOPA, any of those organizations like that, and he was there, and we would go to Breakout Day. Man, it wasn't that he was giving away products; he was giving away part of his life. Because I mean, growing up in a his dad was owned a tackle store. He and his brother Ron.
He's in his blood, yeah.
Yeah. So, well, tell our listeners. Believe it or not, it's gone by that quickly. And I probably talk too much, but you probably get me crying too. But that's the way I am. But tell our listeners how they can get a copy of this wonderful paperback book, folks, that you need to stick in your deer pack this year when you're in the woods or when you're going to the lake. Stick a copy that it fits perfectly in your backpack. And if you want to be uplifted in the Spirit of God and your faith, listen to her as she shares her life with TJ. So tell us how people can get a copy of this.
Oh, thank you so much, Larry. It's very simple. You just go to Amazon.com and just type in My Southern Gentleman, and it'll come up. And there'll be a list of books, and just scroll down till you find it. It's not very far down the list. Or you can type in Kathleen Stallings, and it'll bring it up. It's very simple.
Well, you just when you use the magic words. When you read this book, it'll bring you up.
That's right.
I guarantee you from that. Kathy, thank you.
Thank you.
I know it was hard, but folks, here's a perfect Christmas present for someone that you love, straight from the heart. My Southern Gentleman by Kathleen Stallings. Kathy, thank you. We'll stay in touch. Okay. Have a great day. All right.
You too. Thank you.
All right. All right, let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray, and I know that was tough, but we'll be right back.